post-editing Uncle Fezzy here. There's no payoff with this video. Just so you know ahead of time. I don't have the batteries yet. I mentioned in the video. I kind of put the cart before the horse. So I don't have the batteries, but I just kind of wanted to show off my newfound modeling abilities. So there you go. Hey kids, welcome back to Uncle Fezzy's Mad Lab. What's Uncle Fezzy up to today? Well, it's a rain day here at Stonecroft Grand Hotel, Casino and Resort. And quite frankly, Miguel has the day off. So, no yard work. Thank God. So what have I been up to? Well, if you watched one of my other videos, the last video I put up, you saw me assembling my new hardtop gazebo for out by the pool. And in that video, I discussed this tool. And a lot of my other videos, you've seen me use this tool. I love this tool. This tool is a Matco Infinium 10.8 volt dedicated 1/4 inch drive cordless driver. I was a body man. I never needed a massive amount of torque, and I used a lot of 1/4 inch tools. So this thing's old. I bought this in probably 2005, maybe if not older. This thing's probably close to 20 years old. Well, as with everything that's battery operated, eventually the batteries die. So I reached out to Matco and I said, hey Matco, I have an MUC108LB 10.8 volt Infinium driver. I'd like to get a battery for it. Well, the fuckers told me no. Discontinued. Of course it's discontinued. Why would you want to, make a tool that lasts more than, that you keep in production or provide spare parts for more than 5 years? That's why I bought, the joke is every man is sorted into a house. Well, my house is DeWalt. Now I do have that DeWalt 1/4 inch drive impact gun. Problem with that thing is it's got too much ass and it fucks a lot of shit up. Also, I have to run an adapter on it, and it's twice as big as this. Man, this thing's like perfect. It's like a little pocket pistol. The battery has finally reached the end of its lifespan. I knew it was eventually going to happen, and I have to assume that I never bought a spare battery for it, because quite frankly, when I bought this thing, battery lasted forever. I could use the damn thing all day long. I could put in 1,000 tech screws. I could disassemble a car with it. At the end of the day, put the battery in the charger, come in the next morning, everything was hunky-dory. As you can see, this thing is, it's been well used and abused. So, I reached out to Matco, and they were like, well, no, tough titties, you can't get a battery for it. I reached out to multiple different battery remanufacturers. Tough titties, you can't get a battery for it. We don't make batteries for it. Blah, 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 blah. So, it irritated the fuck out of me. And I broke one of my own rules, which is, if you can't, why build what you can buy? Well, not for nothing. I can't buy this fucking battery. So, I started on a quest. And that quest was, get a battery for this thing. Now, I went on Amazon and I found a battery that has the exact same top as this. Okay? But the bottom is different. Let me just stick this thing back together real quick. Actually, it's not going to go back together. Yeah, it will. Put that back together backwards. So that goes like that. That goes like that. Thing's gonna fuck with me now. That might be the wrong side. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, I took it apart, so it's probably has lefts and rights. Why wouldn't it, right? No, there it goes. Imagine that. It does have lefts and rights. So I actually took this battery apart a couple years ago to see if I could fix it, like to see if there was something damaged on the inside. Well, there's a wire that's no good on the inside. It's not damaged. It's still passing current. And that's not why it's not working right. It's not working right because one of these batteries has lost some of its ass. It still puts out 12 volts, but it doesn't put out enough amperage to run this thing the way that it used to run. Now this thing does stall, which is good if you're doing light, like 6mm or quarter inch. The other one I have will snap a 1/4 inch bolt, and that's a pain in the ass. Or it'll strip the shit out of it, which is also a pain in the ass. So I took this battery apart. I went into Fusion and I modeled the battery. Now here's the funny part about this video is this is part 1. There's going to be a part 2. So I go on to Amazon and I found, see, the Matco tools. Now I've gotten into this argument. I've gotten into this argument multiple different times. Yeah, the argument is, oh, Matco rebrands Bosch or rebrands Milwaukee or rebrands blah 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 blah. That's not at all true. What they do is they own a factory in China. It's called MTU or MTA Tools. And that factory specifically builds these tools for them. Now, the guts might be Bosch or some other brand. Milwaukee, I think, is what they were. But the outsides of them are different. And the main difference to the outsides is how the battery actually connects to the tool itself. So the tops and the batteries are all the same, right? So this part, right, is the same, but the battery bottom, how it connects to the tool, is different. And it's the same issue with the 12-volt version of this. Even though this is supposed to be a 10.8 volt battery, it still puts out 12 volts. I don't understand that either. So what I did was I went on to Amazon and I found a battery that has the exact same top, okay, as this battery, but the bottom's different. So I went into Fusion, and because I was bored, I modeled the battery. And here's my 14 different prototypes, culminating in this one. Okay, so this fits in here perfectly. You make a fucking liar out of me on camera, you son of a bitch. Oh, fucking with that connection. So these batteries have charging circuits in the top of them. I didn't actually try to fit that in there. This one fits. Okay. So, oop, there we go. Yes? No. So, it won't show up on camera. Long story short, these do fit together. I'm not going to jam it together. So this one, that was my final-ish prototype. So I have all these other prototypes that I made. You'll notice these are all made out of some PETG that I had laying around. And you notice I changed them a little bit. So this is the factory one with the bosses on it, on the bottom here. Because the way this is injection molded. And interestingly enough, now that I'm into plastic, this is actually made out of PA6GF, which is glass-filled nylon. Now my print, I have the material, but my printer actually won't, I don't think my printer will print this. This also has like a, kind of, it has an interesting texture to it, an interesting feel. Yeah, so this piece is injection molded. This whole thing is injection molded. but you don't need to injection mold it if you can 3D print it, right? So this one actually does fit. So, yeah, this one, oh, I marked this one as good because it's good. Now, there's little tits on the inside of here that I hadn't taken into consideration when I built it the first time. So all these prototypes, right? So once I got the battery to fit all the way up inside of it, it dawned on me, and if you look at this one, that there's little tits on the inside that push these contacts out. Ironically enough, the only contact that's used is this one, which is probably a ground. It's either a ground or some kind of balancer. I don't know. That's the only one that's used in the charger, which is the other thing I had to look at because I forgot that I had the charger. There's only, oh yeah, there's 2 contacts in the charger, and then there's 3 contacts inside the tool. So where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, after a gazillion different prototypes, you know, and multiple ones that had failed, I came up with, and I know it didn't fit together the way it's supposed to just a second, but I came up with this design. And this is what is going to be probably not the finished design. So the finished design is actually on my computer here. But it took forever to get these to go right. And actually, I'm going to add in a little bit of a short. I was going to do it as an independent short video, but I'm going to do the whole thing. These are printed out of ASA, which is probably why this won't fit. ASA, the products shrink a little bit differently, and this was a tight fit to begin with because it has to fit up inside the tool, right? So that fits perfectly. It fits into the tool perfectly. This fits into the tool perfectly and into the charger, which was something I hadn't taken into consideration when I started this. I just kind of was powering through it. And then the other part of this is I'm actually hoping that I'm not going to need this piece for a lot of reasons. The main reason being is if I don't need to use this, right, then I don't need to use it. If I just have to remodel the base, which is most likely what I have to do, then that's what I'll do. The most ideal, I don't even have the batteries yet, but the batteries I ordered have a completely different base. Those are for a Bosch, because Bosch did make this, and I think Bauer makes one, like Harbor Freight, but, you know, not for nothing. Well, you know, every problem now has a 3D printing solution, so I might as well try to fix this one. Fix the battery for it. I was going to rebuild the battery, but I don't have a spot welder. And then when I started futzing with this thing, I started to get a little antsy. I think these are only, 18650s, and they've got cardboard over them. So I don't know. I didn't want to disable the tool completely. This battery still works. I can put this whole thing back together and throw it on the charger, and it'll work just fine. Like I said, I've taken this battery apart. I took this battery apart in the past. I could put it back together and then just run it until it completely dies. But I thought it would be an interesting little side project to do in the rain. So actually what I might do, so here, this is actually the one that I built. What I might do is I'm going to record some of this off of my screen, and I'll include these. So so this is actually the new design. I put bosses in it. So when I print these, I've been printing them this way, and it's been putting tree support on the inside, which is fine. But I think what I'm going to do when I do a finished product, is I'm going to flip them over. I'm actually going to print them like this. This one's getting printed like this. These are actually separate pieces. Let's see if I got it apart without breaking it. I'm having a little trouble getting these to fit. The whole inside of it's all designed that way. When I get the new ones, I'm probably going to have to revisit this part of it also. This is more of a hypothetical than a real. So in the video I'm going to add into this, I printed this like weirdly And it did exactly what I thought it was going to do, which is to snap this, because I was printing these in a like a offset orientation. So when I printed these, all these other ones, I printed them laying down. The problem, okay, yeah, so this is the way it was printing, right? So it was printing that way, and when it prints this way, it does this when it prints, right? So what it does is it creates this, basically a weak spot, right? So that just snapped right off. Well, that's no fucking good. So, but when I print them laying down, right, it prints this way. Right, so depending on how you orient the tool will change how it prints. And these are a lot stronger. It's taken a lot more to break that. But the problem is it prints all this support on it, which is a pain in the ass to get off. And then when you try to slide it into the tool, this one doesn't have one, but when you try to slide it into the tool base, it doesn't want to fit. This one actually didn't have the bosses. So I'm hoping when I get the new batteries, I can disassemble the new batteries and steal these springs out of them. Right? I'd like to be able to steal these little pieces of spring steel out of them. I don't have spring steel like this, nor do I have the ability to bend it or cut it. More of a matter of I don't have the spring steel. I could probably cut these. I know I could cut these. I could cut these and carve these and shape these and make this look exactly the way it does here. But it's a lot easier if I have something already to work with. And I thought about using little tiny coil springs. And that's a whole new thing. There isn't much space inside of this to work with. So let's take everything in here. And ooh, error. Ooh, that's no good. We're going to save our document now. Fusion's been really buggy lately. All right, well, we're going to try this. So, this is the top of the battery holder. We don't need to see that sketch. So that's the top of the battery holder. You'll notice I added bosses to the bottom. Now, the base also has, these holes are oversized to take those bosses. These three things here, this holds the lock. These slide in. I kind of messed up doing this because I should have built it as one single sketch and then imported, or I should have built it as one single sketch and then did multiple parts inside that single sketch, components, separate components. I kind of messed up doing that, and that's just kind of the way it worked. So that's the latches. This is the base. I just added this fillet to the bottom of it. And then this is the battery, the upper shell. And like I said, chances are I'm not going to need this. You can see in better detail this little nipple here is what pushes out the battery contact. I don't know, I'm pretty proud of this. Especially considering 2 months ago I couldn't even make a sketch in Fusion. So I printed a prototype for my battery holder, and I wasn't paying attention to the slicer when I sliced it. I just hit slice and print, and that was it. There's actually 3 different files. I think it's fascinating that the printer, the slicer, built this whole thing. Don't. That's how close it was to falling off the entire time. But it built the entire thing on a support material and then printed it like that. I thought that was really interesting. The reason I think it did that is because this is a curved surface. I don't know. It's very interesting. I'm sure it's not going to print, or I think it's going to fail. The part itself is going to fail because the way the orientation is.